You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show.
I like to travel by trains. And
Yeah.
so with songs about trains, it reminds me of my enjoyment of traveling by
Excellent.
a train.
Well, welcome to Elf Centered, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Gavin.
I'm Gary.
And I'm here with Gary this month, and we hope you've had a fantastic month. January, pretty much everyone's favorite month around here.
It certainly is mine.
Yeah, because it's relaxation time.
Yeah.
It's time to chill out, time to take it easy. We've just worked a crazy December and the months leading up to it, and now vacation time.
Whew.
I'm very glad to see you up and about, Gary.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, we won't talk about it.
Donner.
Yeah.
Donner, I was approaching him, and you should never approach an animal,
Right.
as I've studied, from behind without letting them know that you're going to be approaching them.
Right.
And so I approached him in an inappropriate manner, and he didn't kick me. He turned around. He could have just knee-jerk kicked me. He didn't. He took the extra thought to turn around and butt me with his head. And luckily, I didn't get one of my eyes gouged out with his antlers.
That would have been bad. But I hear that, and I don't want. You said you didn't want to talk about it, and I don't want to bring it up. But I've heard now you've been reassigned. That was like kind of third strike. You're out with the reindeer, and you've been reassigned to another position here at the North Pole.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
All right, well that's not.
But I have been reassigned. Mr. Barrow, he had that strikes that list.
Yeah.
List. One was I didn't clean up after, right before Santa went in. Last year, you remember, Santa was stepping onto the sleigh to go on his big ride, and I neglected to clean up the area where he was walking from the reindeer, and he actually stepped in some reindeer magic.
Yeah.
And slipped. Right.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
He had to go change his suit.
He did. And the one he had to change into was, an earlier model.
A little tighter.
A little
not
tighter.
Yes,
a little tighter, and made him a little more, a little grumpy.
Yeah.
When I say more, I didn't mean like he's grumpy.
Right,
usually.
of course not. Well, he's a ripe, jolly old elf, but he was not.
To the right people.
Yeah.
He's real jolly, but not to everyone.
Yeah. Well, and then, of course, your second strike was, as we may have alluded to here last month, is the feeding incident, where you were feeding the deer and they kind of ate your clothes and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't.
You want to talk about
that?
Okay. And now this third strike, obviously, is.
Well, let's go back to the second strike.
Okay.
I was thinking.
I just heard through the rumor mill, so maybe I don't know the full details.
Well, they didn't take all of my clothes. I still had my slippers on.
Oh, okay. So not full. Yeah.
No, and you don't realize they're like goats.
Yeah.
Where they'll eat anything.
That's true.
And I don't know, maybe I had just finished breakfast, let's say, and had some powdered sugar on my clothing, and they leapt at me.
Yeah.
4 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, what could you do? Like, I ask anybody, what would you have done? And sometimes they say, I would have just walked away, or I would have ran. Yeah. I would have, blocked them.
Yeah.
Distraction, computer games, talk about sports, but none of that. I didn't come and that didn't approach my mind.
Yeah. So what'd you do? You just stood there?
I just stood there.
Yeah.
And, so, but I was in shock. How often?
I've
never had anyone rip off my clothes.
Well, look, we're elf size, and then those deer are deer size.
Yeah, and they're huge.
Big.
You think of a deer, they're the size of a horse, a large horse.
Yeah. Well, horses don't even. I'm so lucky. The horses are huge.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing they weren't horses. They were just deer.
Right. Well, the reindeer,
Yeah.
special, and I think they're more aggressive if you don't approach them appropriately, like
Right.
I didn't,
Yeah.
and I should have.
So, do you know where you're going to next? What section of the North Pole you're going to be reassigned to? Have they told you?
Well, they have, but I don't really want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, we won't talk about it at all then.
You know where Santa gets the coal?
Yeah.
Place?
The mine. Wait, you're going to the mine?
It's on a temporary basis. I'm going
So
to.
it's like a probationary mine.
Mind, yes.
Boy, so they gave you the shaft.
Right, and they did. Yeah, they gave me the shaft, but it's only for a period of time. It's like, and I have to wear a special vest when I go down there.
Yeah.
And then so everybody that's like driving by or walking by, they see that, and
probation.
then
Yeah. Before we go any further, I do want to talk about the upcoming community calendar here at the North Pole heading into February.
Oh,
February 5th, the Candlepin Bowling League start up again. So that's are you gonna be on a team this year?
Well, if they let me.
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't. I'm sure the mine crew has a bowling team. I mean, they usually do.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
those elves are tough. Those are some tough elves.
Well, I think they have a lot of time to focus their eyesight in the darkness.
Yeah.
And so I think that pinpoints their laser-like focus on the pins.
Yeah. Well, if anyone out there would like to sign up for the league, sign-ups will start February 5th. You'll want to see Matilda down in the front office. She's got the list, and that's where you can get on a team. I'm going to be on a team. Gary, I hope that you're on a team this year.
I'm planning on it.
Good.
I'm planning on it.
If they let you.
Santa's usually, he lets things slide. It's just, the people underneath Santa that can be vindictive.
Middle management.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to talk about middle management about here. It's almost February, right?
Yeah. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, the Christmas lights are still up on every single house here. Every building still has Christmas. And then listen, I know that this is the North Pole.
Yeah.
But why are the Christmas lights still up?
I don't know. I mean, if it's to retain the joy, but that's not joyful. Every time has a season, or a season has a time for it.
Right.
We don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. There's not a lot of St. Patrick's Day garb or green, or nobody gets kicked or pinched if you're not wearing green after St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's like my cousin in Ireland. They celebrate it like crazy.
Sure.
Like, he's a leprechaun.
But I bet after the day.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, the next day, they're in plain clothes.
God, it must be rough for him. I mean, constantly people trying to grab him.
Yeah.
Get the gold.
And the thing is, like, he doesn't even have a pot of gold. Like, it's all in an IRA now. So it's not like he can...
What are they going to get from him? Like, hey, come here. I got you.
Yeah. And
Give me your password.
I got to go... I can't early withdrawal. I'll get a penalty,
right,
against my IRA.
Right.
But speaking of my cousin, I went out to visit him on my vacation because I was on vacation this month, and we went out to the Loch. It was very nice. We went out I went to Ireland to my cousin, and then we went to Loch Ness in Scotland.
I've heard it's beautiful there.
It's lovely. It's lovely, and it's a wonderful place. I mean, you talk about a perfect elven vacation spot. That's it.
Right, cold though, I bet, during this period of time.
Well, yeah, but we can.
Obviously,
compared to here,
yeah,
it's
I guess it's the Bahamas.
Yeah, it's the warm. Which reminds me, we have the weather for the upcoming. You can expect low below freezing temperatures tonight, continuing into tomorrow and throughout the rest of the year. Where did you go for your vacation?
Oh, well, because of my injury. Well, actually, I went on an equestrian tour.
Oh, so you saw some horses?
I did.
Yeah.
Which is why I brought it up.
Yeah,
because I compared. Well, I went to Montana.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were like roughing. Did you go on like a camping? Or
it was a dude ranch type package deal.
Nice.
I went with strangers that I met online. Like it's a part of like
That's
it's like a hey, let's get together, do a dude ranch, and I've always been fascinated with a large animal.
Yeah.
and I knew that this would be a great opportunity.
And so what did you do while you were, like, what's some of the activities that you did?
We learned about all the things that you have to do to maintain a horse, like grooming and we shoot a horse. I didn't actually have to do that, but I did. I did something that I was pretty familiar with.
What's that?
Well, there was, they live in a barn and they have stalls, and so I was, I had that expertise. They thought, and so I was cleaning out. I did some work in the stalls.
Did something happen, Gary, on the vacation?
Well, you'd think that.
I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, we won't.
Well, no, this one's okay to talk about.
Okay, all right.
You'd think that I'd learn about, because like they're a four-legged animal that ride and has hooves. You'd think I would have learned the approach technique from my failed reindeer attempt, but I didn't, and that's why I'm wearing 2 slings.
I didn't want to bring it up. Usually you're very animated. You talk with your hands,
right.
But I didn't want to say anything.
Right. Well, yeah. So that's what happened. So it cut that short, which was a bonus. I didn't have to use any shovels, but it then also was a problem when you have to ride horses, because you have to hold the reins, and I couldn't, and so I had to do. I wanted to go on the trip. It was a 3-day out and back up in the Montana mountains in the snow. It was beautiful, but they made me ride in a backpack.
Oh,
which was very embarrassing, if you can imagine.
I'm trying not to for your sake, but it is. I can imagine that it's embarrassing.
And they had to feed me.
They had to feed you because your arms.
Yeah, I couldn't reach them.
I wondered why you had that smoothie and you're just drinking out of a straw.
Right.
But now it's all.
It's an extra long straw because I can only hold it at my waist.
I feel bad now that I brought up the bowling.
Right. Well, I didn't want to. I'll be better soon enough, I would imagine.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't.
Well, yeah. So it was beautiful, but
yeah,
it was
humbling.
great. Yeah, humbling.
Humbling. That nature can be humbling, and I guess
I discovered that first hand.
Yeah,
twice. What about Beatrix? Where is she?
Oh, Beatrice, she's not here today. She's down at the bake sale because they're having the Welcome Back from Vacation bake sale to raise money for the toy making wing. And
they're refurbishing the toy making wing.
Right. And she has she baked some of her amazing scotcheroos. I mean, if you've even looked at her scotcheroos, you know exactly how good they are.
Yeah.
And
I have had them, and they're amazing. They're amazing.
Right.
They're like Fruit Loops.
Yeah.
It's like eating a Fruit Loop bowl of Fruit Loops, but it's also covered in butter and has some scotch in it.
Yeah.
And then pastry.
Yeah. It's amazing. They're amazing. Like, you can't. I think you did it's for something you can barely describe. You did a great job describing it, I think.
But it's so much more than that.
Yeah, so that's where she is. But she wanted to be here, so hopefully next time she'll be able to.
Oh, that'd be
make it down, and,
great.
And all of us will be here.
Yeah, because she owes me some stuff, and I don't want to talk about it, but she owes me some things.
All right, well, we won't talk about it then. Thanks for tuning in to Elves Centered. My name is Gavin.
I'm Gary.
And keep it short. This episode of Elf Centered was a production of Saturday Morning Media and was completely improvised by Chris Sheets and Grant Baciocco. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Do you have a question you'd like the Elves of Elf Centered to answer? Send them an email at hello@SaturdayMorningMedia.com. Be sure to put Elf Centered in the subject line. Also, visit Elf Centered online at www.elfcenteredshow.com. Download bonus content for this episode on the free Saturday Morning Media app available for iOS and Android. Visit www.SaturdayMorningMedia.com/app for more information. This show, like all Saturday Morning Media shows, are made possible by our fine Patreon patrons who've set up a recurring pledge over at www.patreon.com
patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media. Big thanks to Shay Stewart, Merle Lafferty, Jeff Peterson, Dale Gadania, Stephen Staver, Jackie Klimo, Melissa Crawford, Chuck B., Matthew Wayne Selznick, Dave Slusher of the Evil Genius Chronicles, Mike Coughlin, Dorothy Baciocco, John D., Kathy Crawford, Brian Greer, Carrie Whitney, Chuck Tomasi, Chris Foster, Stephen Ing, Clinton of ComedyForecast.com, and Vicky DeVries. They have made this show and the other shows from Saturday Morning Media possible. Become a patron for as little as $1 a month over at www.patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media. That's www.patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media, all one word. This podcast is copyright 2016 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Baciocco, executive producer. All rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com. You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.